I sit here, feeling strangely heavy, after the sight of the staircase of letter Z's, extending to I don't know where it spiraled up to. There was a rich green, sort of a green tea colored leaf. Green. That saturated like powder coming forth. And in between was a soft pink glow. A passion pink. What would the conflict between good and evil, material and spiritual, be if we allowed the feminine, our feminine concepts, to mediate? The red will protect. The white will keep pure. The blue is the comfort. The fairy may be offended by the dangerous, by the dirty, by the offensive. But who are we to live in fear of offending, right? Whether 5 letters or 7 letters or 8 letters or 9 letters, there was a difference between the mystic conception of deity and the bodily idea of deity. Remember that Church of Hermetic Sciences chant that uses this fivefold sort of sense. And that fivefold chant, instead of e, o, yeah, it was I, o, which would, of course, come out to as if it was the U was the letter W, the O as if it was an H, as if it's an H, and the as a extra letter. But the E in there would be the letter Y, right? I, O, I, O. We could say that the typical tetragrammaton has the mother and son as the letter H. The Y as life and strength, and the W as the receiving the ending. Jewish tradition forbade the depicting of the temple furniture. And the Orphic, or snake cult, sort of gave itself an eightfold name, or an eightfold that it centered on. There may have been 8 commandments originally. And one of the things that people say is there's no more occult. And it's like, in a way, yeah, because it's all out there. But do people have the hermetic sense to understand it? Are they spiritually connected in a prosaic way? And the snake was as the triple entity. And the devil gained the place of the waning or negative. And the Father and Son, and really the Holy Ghost, if that is, it was just a split of the same principle. It wasn't necessary to be split into so many sections. But then again, once you have the triple, do you need the triple? And we have the Kerdwin, again with the 9 followers. So the, the 9 dancers that, keep things going. But Kerdwin is in charge of that. And I'm probably going to point out the 9 stuff. And one thing, I guess, William Blake does that we can think about for a second here is that William Blake was like a poetic school unto himself. And he wanted to resurrect sort of a bardic tradition and make it not so personal and all that other sort of stuff. And some people have produced so much media and stuff like that because they basically want to establish a tradition in and of themselves. Not that they're claiming to be a prophet that people have to believe in or any of that stuff. I'm not sure how to pronounce it at this point, but let's unveil a little something. Subna and Yoran. Well, Subna having the milk in the hole left by the heel for, in some cow dung, kind of, tells you what's going on, right? I mean, it does seem impossible in its literal form. It's like he's drinking milk that was secretly poured into a little hole so the person could have something to survive. There would have been better, why not a hole in the grass? And when the person went inside, that sort of thing. Or crack, or some rock or something like that, But, so he had access to the fertility, basically. And I mean, what sort of milkmaid is out there in heels, right? And, the husband not realizing that the person's just, trying to survive on some scraps thrown to him, kills him. Poetry does not have to be original, because to have effect, time-tried themes and all that would be used. And there's a difference between, the poetic expression and the poetic, satire, right? And we don't have to be totally dependent on the opposite gender, nor do we have to be, deprived. And those who are neither are of a different sort, and you tend to find some issues other than just their, you know, fetishes, as they're called. Some return to the old fashioned to have their effect. And some rollers don't fit the gender stereotypes. Things are not necessarily about progress or change. Sometimes we want to hide the cosmic gap in the story. Sometimes we want to hide the reference to the devil or demons of any sort. Love and hate are usually together in some way, and there can be some sort of cosmic compromise.